So the next generation of Canon cameras might actually solve some of the biggest challenges for photographers and videographers. The R6 Mark III has ever-changing specs, the R7 Mark II could finally ditch the mechanical shutter, and Canon may have actually figured out a way to make weather sealing good on future zooms. So let's jump in and talk about it. So first, when it comes to outdoor photography, dust, rain, sand, really anything can kill a shoot. But it can also kill your gear, and that's why Canon's newest patent on weather sealing for zoom lenses is actually worth a little bit of attention. Zoom lenses are workhorses in a photographer's kit. I personally prefer primes when shooting with portrait clients, but when I'm doing landscapes, when I'm out on adventures, or I'm at events, I'm definitely packing a zoom lens. They allow you to switch focal lengths without swapping lenses, but not all zooms are made the same. Traditional internal zooms tend to be more expensive, but there's a good reason. The lens barrel doesn't extend, which keeps out grit, moisture, and honestly just creates a lot less fuss. But external zoom lenses, the kind where the barrel physically grows and contracts as you zoom, shower, grower. They're traditionally more compact and affordable, but they have one issue. The moving barrel acts like a vacuum for dust, water, sand, especially when you're in rougher conditions. So Canon's latest patent, just published last month, tackles that challenge. And according to the details, they're aiming to seal external zoom lenses more efficiently without stiffening up the zoom or turning the lens into a tank that you can't really move. The design involves placing a thin, stretchable fabric sheet, like a shroud, inside the barrel. So as you zoom, the sheet would stretch with the mechanism, like a hood or a skin, to maintain a constant barrier against moisture and dirt. This outer layer is finished with a water-repellent coating and glued in place. And it's designed to shield inside the lens, letting you shoot in the rain or wind without worrying about your gear getting trashed. Now this is clever from a technical perspective. The fabric seal flexes instead of fighting, and the water-resistant outer layer is simple but effective. And if Canon can bring this solution not just to their high-end RFL lenses, but to more budget-friendly options, it could really become a deciding factor for wildlife sports and outdoor shooters. I've mentioned before that I am a portrait photographer, and I traditionally prefer to shoot with prime lenses, but I do in my kit have both internal zooms and external zooms. Because again, I don't always know what I'm gonna be up against when getting into a portrait or event situation, right? Because again, that's how I make my living. And this video is actually sponsored by me. Unless I say otherwise, every video on this channel is backed by my photography business. YouTube ad revenue is nice, but it doesn't keep the lights on. And I specialize in portraits and family sessions, as well as video work for small businesses. So if you're in Las Vegas, LA, Riverside, Orange County, or San Diego, and you need a professional to create content for you that actually makes you look good, I am available. You'll find booking info and links down in the description. There's just one camera rumor that continues to refuse to die, and that is the R6 Mark III. So if you've been following this channel or camera rumors or photo rumors or any of the various folks out there, you know the routine. We get leaks, we get speculation, shifting specs, and then more leaks. But over the last couple of weeks, more patterns are actually starting to emerge. So what's actually new? Well, according to several sources, including a recent in-person discussion at Canon headquarters, the R6 Mark III has hit a snag or two, but that the core development continues to move forward. Canon is reportedly testing multiple sensor options for the R6 Mark III, and the most consistent info points to a 24 megapixel sensor. In some cases, the rumors are saying that that is borrowed from the R3 or a completely new designed sensor that is faster and more powerful. And it really depends on who you ask, and even Canon's own people are keeping it rather vague. There's also the chance that Canon bumps the resolution even higher, maybe into the 30 to 32 megapixel range, which would put it right between the R1 and the R5 Mark II. Because we're expecting that sensor and the accompanying features to borrow a lot from those two cameras. We're also hearing more about the viewfinder, that it would be a OLED with higher resolution and an LCD that may actually get replaced and no longer be LCD technology, but to be an OLED as well with a multi-vari-angle display instead of the type of display that we get now. Now, whether that means that we're getting a game-changing breakthrough or if it's just an incremental improvement is up for debate. But anything that improves visibility in bright sunlight with or without adding bulk is going to be good news for hybrid shooters. And as always, price is at the center of the conversation. If the R6 Mark III continues to sit at the currently expected launch price of $24.99, or at least remain under $3,000 in 2025, that would squarely put it with the specs that we are expecting to be at the top of this category. So where does that leave us? There's no hard and fast date. We're hearing sometime in 2025. And some details are saying that it might shift into 2026. But the bottom line is this: if you're waiting for the R6 Mark III, patience is your best friend. But I want to know from you, will a small resolution bump matter? Because honestly, the most important camera is the one that you have with you. My R6 Mark II is my workhorse, along with my R5. My wish list for an R6 Mark III does not include an increase in resolution. But I want to know what you have on your wish list. Let me know down in the comments. Speaking of wish lists, while my wife and I were in the hospital welcoming our baby girl, my personal Facebook and Instagram accounts were hacked and permanently shut down after months of fighting with Meta. Now, this was my professional Instagram that I built over years, and as a photographer, having a visible presence is really important. So I have to rebuild, and I can really use your help. But I want to make it worthwhile, so I'm throwing in a little sweetener, because I get gear from brands all the time to review, but when I'm done with them, I don't keep them, and I want to give them to you. So here's a way that you can enter to get free gear. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe to the channel here, and comment on this video that you followed me on Instagram. Once I hit 1,000 followers, I'm going to start reaching out to folks randomly and letting you know that you've won gear. And if you really want to help and sweeten the pot, like and share as much of the content over there on Instagram as you can. It really does make a big difference. Next, another update that we're seeing right now out of Canon is the potential for the EOS R7 Mark II. And it looks like in this model, Canon may finally be saying goodbye to the mechanical shutter. Now, this latest rumor has started with a tip from a reasonably reliable retailer. Say that 3 times fast. And the headline is hard to miss. The R7 could ship without a mechanical shutter. That would make the flagship of Canon's APS-C RF mount lineup fully electronic, in line with where the industry is moving. Nikon has already made this switch with the Z8 and the Z9, and honestly, it's kind of weird that Canon has kept the mechanical shutter in all of their cameras, though it may point to the fact that their sensors have taken a more conservative design approach than folks from Sony. But the rumored specs look like this: an R7 with a 32.2 megapixel APS-C sensor, and without that mechanical shutter, expecting a 40 frame per second burst rate using electronic, as well as 6K raw video recording and active cooling. Again, borrowing more features from the R5 Mark II and the R1 with a design that is more consistent with the R5 Mark II, kind of cementing it as the flagship of the crop sensor line. Now, old school shooters are going to miss the physical clack of that real shutter, but I'm sure we'll all embrace having fewer moving parts and less potential for hardware failure. Honestly, a lot of these details look promising, they make sense, and we're just waiting for official confirmation from Canon. So as always, specs, names, and features could shift, and we may be getting rumors from multiple products that are out in market. But if you're thinking on holding off on purchasing until later this year when this potentially drops, what are your thoughts? Do you care about an all-electronic shutter? Are you mostly shooting video? Obviously, the assumption is that the rolling shutter performance would have to be very good in order to eliminate the need for a mechanical shutter, or maybe no rolling shutter at all in the event of a global shutter. We just don't know. Very curious to hear from action and wildlife photographers, and maybe even our landscape photographers out there. And if you want to support what I'm doing here, consider becoming a channel member, because you'll also get access to exclusive resources like those LUTs and presets, as well as getting highlighted comments, members-only live videos, and early access to new uploads. And if you're looking to book a photo or video session, all the details are down in the description. I work in Las Vegas, LA, Riverside, Orange County, and San Diego. And down there, you'll also find all my gear links, which includes my 2025 Content Creators Essential List for anyone who's getting started. Those are affiliate links, so picking something up does help out the channel. Don't forget, I am rebuilding my Instagram after losing my original account. There's a giveaway going on. I'm trying to get the word out. Just follow me on Instagram, subscribe here, drop a comment that says I followed you on Instagram, and you'll be entered to win free gear. Sweeten the pot by liking and sharing as much as you can over there. But as always, the easiest way to support the channel is just hit like on this video, hit subscribe on the channel. Those are free and it really helps. But thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.